You're exhausted, not just tired, exhausted in that deep, confusing way where you can't explain it to the people you love. You got into this work because you care, and you still care. But somewhere along the way, you stop being able to see where it's going. You finish the day and you think, what did I actually do today? Did any of it matter? And nobody tells you that feeling, that invisible, can't point to it feeling. It's one of the most common symptoms of teacher and leader burnout. Not the kind that makes you walk out, the kind that makes you stop seeing. Pause here. Pause for a moment. Do you resonate with this? In the next 6 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why this happens to the best of us in education. And 3 things you can do today, even today, not next term, today, to start seeing your impact again. Because you are making a difference. You're just not noticing it anymore. You're not seeing it. And that's not a you problem. It's a burnout problem. Here's what burnout actually does to you. You see, we talk about burnout like it's about being tired. And yes, you're tired. But that's not the part that's hurting you the most. The part nobody talks about is that burnout narrows your attention. It puts you into survival mode. And in survival mode, your brain stops registering the good. It only tracks the urgent, the next problem, the next child, the next meeting. There's actually a name for this, and researchers call it impact blindness. It's not weakness and it's not ungrateful. It's what chronic stress does to the human brain. You see, in a study of the Journal of Occupational Health Psychology, found that educators who had low perceived impact, regardless of how well they were actually performing, had significantly higher rates of exhaustion, and they were more likely to leave the profession. It wasn't performance that was the problem. It was the inability to see their own performance. I saw this happen in real time when I was speaking at an education conference at the weekend. The room was full of early years educators, nursery leaders, behaviour specialists, Senkos, people who do the hardest work in the hardest rooms. And one woman, an experienced, brilliant, completely dedicated woman, said something that stopped us all. She said, I can't remember where I made a difference last week. She wasn't a new teacher. She wasn't someone who didn't care. She's someone who'd given everything to her work for years. And she couldn't see any of it. But here's what happened by the end of that session. She remembered. She'd helped a child write their name for the first time. Not in sand, not on a screen, but with a pencil in their hand. For the very first time. And she'd walked straight past it. She'd gone on to the next child, the next task, the next urgent need. And that's not a failure of gratitude. That's burnout stealing her wins. You see, your brain is working against you here, and there is a way to fix it. Here's the thing. You see, your brain is wired, literally wired, to notice problems faster than wins. Psychologists call it the negativity bias. It's not a personal flaw. It's evolution. It's science. You see, neuropsychologist Rick Hanson explains that negative experiences are encoded in the brain almost instantly. But the positive experiences need to be held consciously for 15 to 20 seconds before they transfer into the long-term memory. Your brain velcros the bad and Teflon slides the good. That's why you remember every difficult moment and forget the wins. And when you're burnt out, that gap gets even wider. The good disappears faster, the hard stuff feels heavier, But there is good news because you can retrain your brain. And it doesn't take much, I promise you. Sometimes being there is the difference. What you keep discounting actually counts. Before I give you the practical tools, I need you to hear this. Your impact is not always a breakthrough. It's not always related to data, visible on an observation form. Because sometimes your impact is that you showed up. You were calm when the room wasn't. You were safe when a child needed safe. You were consistent when everything else in that child's world wasn't. Again, let's look at the research on attachment theory. Maybe the work of Mary Ainsworth or Peter Fonagy tells us for children with complex backgrounds, the single most powerful intervention isn't a program or a strategy. It's a regulated, predictable, trusted adult being present and calm, the same person every day. That is the intervention. You are the intervention. And it's the same in leadership. The head teacher who doesn't panic when Ofsted calls. The nursery manager who's the same on Friday afternoon as Monday morning. The Senko who responds calmly to an email full of stress, who shows up, who remembers the child's name. That is impact. Count it. So I'm going to give 3 things that you can start right now, today, not adding to your to-do list, but small, deliberate strategies that work. So the first is to name one thing. At the end of every day, before you pick up your phone, before you walk through your front door, say one thing out loud that landed today. Not what you didn't finish, but one thing that mattered. Say it, write it, text it to someone, make it real. Simple, right? Number 2, ask your team. Start your staff meeting with one question. What's one moment from this week that mattered? Not about Ofsted, not about polished, real. Watch what happens in the room. Just ask, what's one thing that has gone well for each of us this week? Share it. Remember, you need to internalize it. You need that 15 seconds to log it. We're retraining our brains here. And the third one, give yourself what you give others. You would never let a colleague leave a meeting without acknowledging what they'd done. You're not exempt from that. So try applying the same generosity to yourself. You are allowed to count your own wins. In fact, you need to. You were there, and that was enough. Remember the woman at the conference? By the end of the session, she was smiling because she had it all along. She just needed the space to look back and see it. Remember, that's what burnout does. It doesn't take away your impact. It makes it harder to see. So here's what I want you to do right now. Before you scroll on, before you do anything else, tell me one thing from this week where you made a difference. Even tiny. Especially tiny. Drop it in the comments. It's not for me, this is for you. For every educator watching this, we all need to know that we're not invisible. And neither is our impact. Save this or send it to a friend if it helps. I'll see you on the next one.